Hey guys, Rhett here. What's going on? Thanks for watching. I wanted to talk today about something that a lot of people are asking me. A lot of people are getting involved in Section 8 real estate investing, and I thought that it would be important to give people some detail, give people some information that is more than just a lot of kind of surface information that leaves people still wanting to know more and learn more about Section 8 and what it is. So I wanted to come up with a video that gives 7 tips for finding the best Section 8 properties, where to invest, how to invest, what to do, where to buy, and that sort of thing that you can use kind of as a very light spine for getting started in Section 8 real estate investing. So, of course, this is going to be detailed and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. It's not going to be everything you need to know. And of course, the only people that I work with like that are my clients. If you guys are interested in using me and my teams and doing this hand in hand and doing this real, send me an email in the description below and we'll get started. But let's talk about the 7 tips I have for finding the best Section 8 properties and how to do that. So number 1, making sure that when you are doing this and you're looking for houses, you're not basing every single decision you make on price. Buying units based on their price only is a huge issue. For example, there are some areas in the United States you can buy houses for $20,000, $30,000 that don't need a ton of work. Buying there might not be good for you, and the odds are it's probably not going to be because houses are priced a certain way for a reason. America, biggest, best capitalist country in the world, it's a free market. Prices of goods and assets are based on the demand of the assets. Now, even though a lot of markets we operate in, homes are priced less than maybe where you live or where I live, there's opportunity there. There are markets where we can make this work. There are markets where this is extremely hard to make work. A lot of rural areas are very, very bad for Section 8. So I would say number 1, making sure you choose a market that works, avoid markets that don't work for certain reasons that we're going to get into, but understanding that your decisions should not be based on price. Don't put all your emphasis on the price of a house and judge your investment opportunity and abilities based on that singular house. Okay? If it's all you can afford, you need to save more money. You can't afford to get into this. Okay? Making sure that we're looking at other factors outside of just what the house costs is going to be a huge determining factor, because there are markets all across the U.S. where markets are very similar priced. I could tell you right now, there's 15 cities from North Ohio down to the Gulf of Mexico and 1,000 miles to the east and 1,000 miles to the west. I can put together a ton of cities for you to invest in that all have similar entry points, but they're all very different, and some you're going to do great in, some you'll do very poorly in. So there's so many more factors, and we're going to get into them. So number 2, making sure where you buy is safe. Okay, this is going to piggyback on number 1. But just like you or I wouldn't want to move into an area that is extremely ridden with crime and blight and abandoned houses and bad leadership, gang violence and violent crime, a lot of our tenants don't want to move into those areas either. When you think about our demographic and the people moving into our homes, a lot of the times, as you guys know on my channel, we're building out homes for children. You know, you're getting a lot of times a single parent with multiple children. These parents want to be able to open their door just like you or I and let their kid go play in the front yard and not have to worry about anything. Making sure these areas are safe. In a lot of areas that we invest in, the city crime might not be good, but the neighborhoods we're investing in are safe, and that is extremely, extremely important. Also understanding that where you buy, knowing that your tenants might not have vehicles. So what does the public transportation situation look like there? We can't buy in areas that are rural. We can't buy in areas that don't have significant public transit, whether it's a subway system, whether it's a bus transit system. the houses that you buy, what is their geographic location distance-wise from bus stops? Even if you're in a market, so to speak, that is really good for Section 8 real estate investing, but you buy a house that's 4 miles away from the nearest bus stop, or it's not advantageous to somebody who might not have a car but might have 2 or 3 kids and works every day, you're going to be putting yourself in a losing situation. So making sure that you do a lot of research on the actual house you buy. Where is it? Is it safe? What's my geographic location to public transit? And is that going to be something for me that helps me? So that is a big tip. Third, investing in landlord-friendly states. And I'm sure if you've watched other Section 8 videos, people have pounded you over the head with this. Landlord-friendly, landlord-friendly, landlord-friendly. When you build a really large real estate portfolio, this is going to be very, very helpful for you. And we talk on the channel a lot of times where over a certain time period, if you looked at the thousands of houses that we've done, you have virtually no evictions of Section 8 tenants, because when a Section 8 tenant is doing something they shouldn't be in the unit and you say, hey, you need to get out of here. If you don't, we're going to tell your caseworker, tell the housing authority. It puts their voucher in jeopardy if they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing. But as investors, when we try to get the best deals on houses, sometimes we're buying houses that have squatters, or they have tenants that we're inheriting that are cash paying, private pay tenants that we need to get out. So a lot of people will say to me, well, Rhett, it doesn't matter if I'm investing in a landlord-friendly state. If it's a Section 8 tenant, it doesn't matter because the government's paying the rent. Well, it still totally matters. If we're building a big portfolio out in that market, the odds are we're going to have to buy some occupied units that have tenants that we want to get out of there. And when we want to get them out of there, we want to get them out. We don't have to wait 5 years. We don't want to wait 3 years and go through the court system for months and months and months. We want to have good landlord-friendly states that allow us to tell the city and local jurisdiction what's going on and how to get that person out of there quickly, safely, and swiftly, so we can turn that property into a really strong cash flowing asset. So making sure the landlord and tenant laws are friendly and they're on our side, and also understanding what the trend line has been. So a lot of times you can look at laws that have been created over the last half decade or decade and see which direction they're moving in. And if you start seeing that the direction is going unfavorably for us as landlords, you need to choose a new market. Number 4 could be number 1, it could be number 2, it could be number 1 through 7. And you guys know, if you are frequent on my channel, having a good team is king. It is absolutely number 1, the most important part of doing this. Whether you are an in-state investor, an out-of-state investor, on your side, you need realtor, you need lender, insurance broker, contractor, property management company, maintenance company, and person quarterbacking the whole thing. Understanding what investment you're getting into, because the reality is you don't know what to avoid if you haven't done this before multiple times, right? We do this hundreds and hundreds of times a year, over and over and over and over and over again. Cookie cutter, boom, 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 boom. We have a very, very concrete way of doing this. We have a ton of control over the vendors because they're in-house. We have vendors that are in-house with us, that we own, that we control. So if you want to do this, you have to have a good team in place. And it's not, hey, my cousin's brother's uncle's friend lives in this city, so I'm going to invest there because he's going to be my boots on the ground. If I had a quarter for every time somebody said that, and that never works. It's, oh, yeah, well, I was looking online and I saw that, this city was pretty good for Section 8, and my ex-girlfriend's father-in-law's brother has a construction company there. I mean, this is the stuff I hear on a daily basis. No, that's not a team. That's somebody that you think, is in this industry and isn't. Don't make that mistake. If you want to use me and my teams, send me an email in the description below. We'll get you started. You need a good team to do this, who knows this niche in and out, to make sure that you're successful. Okay? Number 5, know your rent. Know your rent, know your rent, know your rent. Knowing your rent is not going on the HUD website and typing in a zip code and pulling up the FMR in that zip code and saying, oh, here it is. I'm going to make $1,600 a month on my 3-bedroom. That is not what knowing the rent is. That number, there are so many things that go into determining what that number is. Keep in mind that's a maximum, which means inside of that $1,600 for a 3-bedroom, I'm just using that as an example, there's a full utility stipend that will not go to you, that goes to a tenant. If the average utilities across the board there are $250 a month for water, gas, electric, and sewer, that $250 is going to come right out of that $1,600. It's going to drop you to a $1,350 maximum. And in order to hit that $1,350 maximum, other 3-bedrooms inside of a mile radius that Section 8 is also renting out to other Section 8 landlords, it has to be similar. It has to be similar square footage, bathroom count, bedroom count, size, amenities, everything. So that's just to get the $1,350. You have to know what you're going to get. Now, how do you do that? You work with people who are doing it a ton in that market, who know exactly what that investment is going to bring you. It is extremely important you know what you're going to get, because if you do a financial model and you base a certain cash-on-cash return on X rent and you end up getting Y and it's $250 less or $400 less, your 15% cash-on-cash return just turned into 4%. You cannot make mistakes like that in real estate. You have to know what you're going to be getting. Always run your numbers conservatively. Never run them optimistically. We are always being ultra conservative, planning for the worst case scenario, hoping for the best, doing what we can to set ourselves up for the best, but still making sure that we make money in the worst, okay? Number 6, knowing what you can afford. Knowing what you can afford. So do not overextend yourself. Do not stretch yourself too thin. You are getting into a real estate investment that you maybe haven't done before, or maybe you have done it before, or maybe you think you know a lot about real estate because you've done a couple flips and you have a couple personal houses and a vacation house. This is totally different. Slow down. Make sure you have money saved. Be conservative. Now, of course, if you have a really good team in place, you can spend a little bit more because they're going to tell you exactly what you need to spend and budget items for exactly what, and you'll have concrete prices on everything. If you don't have that perfect team in place that all works together, you need to be extremely cautious about making sure you have extra money, because things come up. If your contractor didn't do a good job and is in their walkthrough, and all of a sudden there's an expense that pops up, you need to be able to cover that. If a tenant comes to a house, is a perfect example. We do this often, actually, and this is not an example of anything rather than opportunity. But a lot of times we'll have people go look at our units. We'll put a unit on market, and they'll say, I love it, but I'm in a wheelchair. Or I love it, but I am in a situation where I've got a bad hip. I can't do those stairs. Okay, great. We'll put a handicap ramp. We'll do a full code handicap ramp. That's expensive. That's thousands of dollars. Or we had a tenant last month who said, "Hey, my mother's moving in. She's handicapped. I'm gonna have to move out unless I can get a handicap shower installed." Great. This tenant's been in there for years and years and years. She's phenomenal. She's got a full voucher, and okay, we'll do it. But it's money, costs money, adds value, and keeps somebody in there for a very, very long period of time. But we have to have the capital. And when we have those reserve funds that can be deployed when we need them for things like that we're not maybe expecting, it allows you to be more patient in the process. And what we've talked about this on some other videos too, is understanding that because real estate is a long game, we want to choose the right tenant that's going to be there with us for a long period of time. And a lot of times that means not rushing to choose the first tenant, but rather taking our time to choose the best tenant. And choosing the best tenant for our unit means paying more mortgage payments. It means that this process might be pushed out 30 days. It might be pushed out 60 days. It might be pushed out 90 days. But that is a sacrifice that we have to make if we want to put the best person into that house. So that is extremely, extremely important that we do that. And you can only do that and have that patience to turn people down if you've got the capital to pay the mortgage for another couple months, or if your Section 8 inspection is taking forever to get called and that mortgage payment ends up going 2 months longer or a month longer. You've got to have the capital to be able to do it. You have to get into this thing long-term, long-sighted. And that moves me into my last tip, which is don't lose sight of what real estate investing is. Real estate investing is a long-term game. It is not short-term. You are not going to get rich very quickly unless you buy a house that has gold under it, or you're in the backyard digging a pool and you hit oil. That's the only way you're going to get rich very quick in real estate. Or, of course, I have clients right now buying huge portfolios, and you all of a sudden after 30 days you blink, you're generating 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month in rent, but you're spending millions of dollars to do that. So there's no in between. You can't build a $100,000 a month portfolio when you start with $25,000. If you want to build a portfolio like that and you want to buy 200 houses or 100 houses, great. Bring a couple $1,000,000 to the table. This is a long-term game. It is a long-term game. We are not getting rich quick. You have to make your decisions like that. Don't cut corners. Be patient. Take your time. You'll always make money on real estate if you hold. The only way to lose money in real estate is to sell it quickly. Take your time. Understand that this is a long game. Make your decisions based on the future and not instant gratification like we do every time we have 5 seconds of freedom and we pull out our phones and we open Instagram or TikTok or X. Take your time. Think about building this wealth generationally, long term, and what you'll find is, as long as you do it with the right team, you'll make the right decisions and you'll be very, very happy that you did. So guys, as always, please drop questions and comments below. I'll get to all of them. We'll see you next time.